Welcome to 10 tips for your mediumship reading. In this video, I will share with you what to expect from a reading with a medium, along with how best to prepare for a session, what happens during a reading, and what your job is during the session. As a spiritualist medium, my specialty is connecting with your family and friends who have passed into the spirit plane and getting messages from them to you. People book mediumship readings for a wide variety of reasons, including, but not limited to, communicating with spirit loved ones, comfort and healing, validation of their own spiritual experiences, education about life after death, and soul-to-soul contact. I've been a full-time medium for over 20 years, and to date, I've done thousands of readings for clients all over the world. Although contact with a certain spirit or information can never be guaranteed, I have consistently connected with identifiable spirit entities and given proof of spirit messages in readings. If you are seeking help with a murder case or a missing person, you will need to reach out to another practitioner who specializes in locating information and people in this way. With a mediumship reading, you have more time to explore communication with your loved ones in spirit, ask questions, and dive deeper into the experience. Sittings with mediums are experimental sessions. Therefore, communication with a certain spirit or information cannot be guaranteed. Another important piece of information to include is that a mediumship reading is not for fortune telling. So we don't do tarot cards or astrology or palm reading. The focus of a session with a medium is on spirit contact with those that have passed, family members, friends, and sometimes pets. It provides beautiful communication with those souls for the purpose of comfort, easing grief, healing, and soul-to-soul contact. My first tip for your reading is to actually take a look at the medium that you're wanting to book an appointment with. Some mediums can get you in next week, and some mediums are booking months in advance. Appointments are strongly suggested year-round, and when you're booking a reading, check with the individual medium regarding time lengths of sessions, recording, and fees. My rates and information regarding mediumship readings can be found on my website, willawhite.com. You can also see my cancellation policy, waiting policy, and other suggestions for readings. And a special note about recent passings. If you have experienced a recent passing in your family or friends, just keep in mind that while there is no official wait time for establishing communication with a spirit loved one, I have noticed that some spirits need a little bit longer to be able to get used to things on the other side and to learn how to communicate. And it can take some spirits even longer. Some mediums suggest a 6-month time period, and I feel that this is actually a good time frame for many clients because by then they've processed some of their grief and they're not in a desperate space, because there is a difference between being ready and being needy, and it just depends on the client and the spirit. And ultimately, you have to trust your soul regarding this, because when you're ready, you just know. And what a blessing it is to know that you will connect with your loved one's spirit in divine right timing, and that love never dies. Tip number 2, what can you do to prepare for your mediumship reading? Well, number 1, relax. Make sure that you're in a distraction-free zone alone during the reading. You need to be able to focus on the information coming through. Some clients like to take a walk or meditate before their reading. Many do not. It just depends on the client. And some clients do prepare a list of questions that they would like to ask their spirit loved ones, but these are not required in order to have a good reading. True success is a 3-way connection between the medium, the client, and the spirit. I do suggest that you arrive at the session with a positive and open attitude, because it certainly elevates your connection. And before the reading, you can ask your spirit loved ones to attend the session with you. Gentle requests work best. You can't command or demand their presence, and contact with a certain spirit or information can never be guaranteed. It's important that you let your expectations go and be open. It's an organic conversation that unfolds between you and medium and your spirit loved ones. So go in with an open, receptive state of mind and energy. Many first timers feel nervous, and this is pretty normal when we do anything new. Nervousness is a form of anticipation, which means that you are opening to the experience. And if you feel flutters in your abdominal area, like little butterflies, that's okay. That just means that your energy is preparing to open for spirit contact and you're feeling the first stirrings. Please arrive promptly for your session, as most mediums prepare themselves by quiet time and meditation prior to the appointment. Also, mediums have busy lives and client schedules, and that block of time that you have booked is usually the only time that a medium can give you. Respect the process of each medium and respect their abilities to bring loved ones and their messages. A medium will usually explain at the beginning how they work and what level of response, yes, no, and more that they require from you, and if they allow for questions. Some mediums don't let you talk at all, as it throws their process off, and other mediums encourage you to talk and have a true conversation with your loved ones. In fact, if you do not talk and refuse to confirm or verify the information, the medium may decide to end the session. So keep in mind that evidence comes in many ways. It comes through descriptions, relationships, names, specific info, etc. And don't expect code words. What you should be expecting are truth. The patience that you have to bring to this occasion. And I encourage you to be fair, to expect good, be willing to verify, and relax. So what happens during a mediumship reading? Will it be a conversation between you and your spirit loved ones? Well, each reading is unique, so I never know what to expect during a reading. As a medium, I open myself to the highest and best intention to receive connection and information from your spirit loved ones. For me, a mediumship reading is a very interactive experience between me, the client, and spirit communicators. And you're expected to take part in this conversation openly and honestly and enjoy the opportunity. Your positive attitude helps to strengthen the connection. Skepticism, arguing, or wanting things done your way only leads to failure. During sessions, I link with the spirit loved ones who present themselves and their messages for you. As a medium, I focus on bringing through the essence of a spirit loved one, by explaining about physical characteristics, personality traits, other messages, and more. Now, sometimes the confirmation of identity happens immediately. There's something that the spirit does or says that lets you know without a doubt that this is your Aunt Margaret or your father, whoever it is. And sometimes the clues are subtle and the spirit's identity remains uncertain until you have time to think about the messages. Once we do establish contact with a spirit loved one and have established their identity, we engage them in conversation and ask questions. You'll be given an opportunity to ask questions during our session time. Clients often happily report that the spirit or spirits or information that they wanted to connect with come through right off the bat. Many times a reading is an opportunity to chat with your family and extended family and maybe a few of your closest friends, and it could be a special time for reunion and a sharing of memories. It could be a chance to say hello or I'll see you again or I love you. And perhaps it will be a time for making amends and apologies, or it can be an opportunity for closure and explanation. Or it can be a time to receive guidance and opinions from those that you trust who are in spirit. Or it could be a confirmation of your own experiences with spirit contact and listening to your own soul. Sometimes you know the people who gather very well, and sometimes you're getting to know them or you're getting to know them better. Depending on the personality dynamics of the members of your family and others, you could have quite a discussion. Conversation may be stilted, or it may launch into a debate, or it could flow very beautifully. It just depends on the personalities involved. Usually one of the spirits become what I call the primary spirit communicator. This spirit loved one will be in charge of the discussion or may help or allow other spirits to communicate, or may be the only spirit communicator. Ultimately, my focus is to bring through the essence of a spirit loved one and their messages. My goal is to help my clients connect with their loved ones in spirit for healing and for evidential spirit contact. I truly enjoy my work as a medium, and every day I give thanks for my connection with spirit. So what is the client's job during a reading? Well, you need to let the medium know that you understand, or if you need more clarity. You have a very important job during the session to confirm and verify the information coming through. Again, the medium will usually indicate at the start of the session how this works best for them, and some information may not be verified at the time of the session, and that's okay. Rarely does 100% of the information make sense during the session. If a piece of information does not ring true at the time, just let the medium know, but do not get hung up on that one piece of information. Interpretation and or timing could be off in the moment. Keep in mind that some information is for later. Just welcome the spirit and information, even if you're unable to recognize immediately, because later on you may recall the name, the symbol, or the situation. Confirmation and validation are helpful to the outcome of a successful reading. Saying yes when you understand and connect with the info and evidence shared is very important. And don't be too quick to say no, because understanding may come later. Let the medium know when they are correct and when you understand the information shared to be true and how you relate to the information shared. Please ask clear and focused questions. Also, if you're unsure about anything, ask the medium to explain. If they can, they will. And don't expect code words and passwords. Spirit does not tend to work that way. We're not playing hack the computer password game. Spirit loved ones will offer the information that they can in the brief moments they have in a session. Be open to whatever way they choose to communicate, because evidence comes in many different forms, and allow the medium to proceed in their own way. Be open and honest during the session. Really enjoy the opportunity that you have, and know that your enthusiasm and your positive attitude assist in creating a beautiful connection with spirit and raise the vibration. The value of a mediumship reading is not measured by prophecy. Passing to the other side does not make a spirit all-knowing or all-seeing. Prediction by your spirit loved ones is possible, but you have free will to make changes. Guidance is the key word. And before a reading, as I mentioned earlier, you can ask your spirit loved ones to attend the session with you. And just know that you can't command or demand their presence. Contact with a certain spirit or information can never be guaranteed. Just let your expectations go and be open. Now, if you would like a certain person in spirit, if you'd like a one in particular or a certain few, what can you do for that? Well, during a reading, as I mentioned before, usually one of the spirits becomes what I call the primary spirit communicator. This spirit loved one will be in charge of the discussion, may help the other spirits to communicate, or may be the only spirit communicator. Now, I say only spirit communicator because sometimes that one spirit will get on their soapbox and want to talk for most of it. And usually that primary spirit communicator is a family member or sometimes a close friend. And I've noticed that they have a strong desire to connect. They have possibly more spiritual awareness than the others. They might have a forceful personality. They might be a beautiful guiding influence in your life and possibly have great love for you. And a medium can never guarantee contact with a certain spirit. There are many factors involved: the energy of the client, the energy of the medium, the energy of the spirit loved ones, and their spiritual development ability, along with the relationship to the client. Perhaps those in spirit are busy doing life review. They're not as available to come through or not as ready to come through in particular ways. And they could be busy with another family member or activity. There are so many factors. All we can do is hope for the best. Sittings with mediums are experimental sessions, as I've mentioned before. Also, what about family sessions or gifting a session? Well, most clients do prefer to have their own private individual session to chat with their loved ones in spirit. And sometimes a family session makes more sense. It just depends. I would say it's very important to keep in mind that you do not surprise your family members with a reading. All participants must be on board with having a reading before you submit a scheduling request. And everyone grieves in their own time and in their own way. So just give space for that. In my case, I only allow immediate family to share a family reading. And please be aware that another person cannot just sit in on your mediumship reading. If they're present in the room or space, then it's their reading also. And with family sessions, the time is not spread equally between participants. In fact, your loved ones in spirit may focus more on one of you than the other. Regarding children attending, I would say that you need to check with the medium. I do have my answer posted on my reading FAQ page on my website. So what about future prediction? As I've mentioned before, I'm a medium, so the focus of the session is on spirit contact, connecting with a client's loved ones who have passed. A mediumship reading is not for fortune telling or for future telling. If future prediction is your main goal, then please schedule with a psychic instead. Again, the value of a mediumship reading is not measured by prophecy, and passing to the other side does not make a spirit all-knowing. Sometimes spirit loved ones occasionally share their opinions about people and situations around the client. After all, they care about us, and love doesn't die. So as I tell my clients, if you weren't going to listen to them when they were here, you might not want to listen to them now. So if your Aunt Harriet gave great advice when she was here, it's likely that she will continue. That track record is something you may want to listen to. And as I said before, guidance is the key word. Now, sometimes your loved ones in spirit will offer what they view to be the highest probability of outcome, the highest probability of how a person will react or how a situation will resolve. This is based on past patterns and the energy at this moment in time. Ultimately, we each have free will to manifest our own future, so nothing is ever 100% certain. It's more about how you react to a situation that truly dictates the event. Occasionally, those in spirit can be quite verbal about what they feel is the right thing, but just remember that your dad, your mom, your brother, your grandmother, or more, all they can do is offer you their opinion. You are in charge of your life and all of your decisions. So ultimately, you must listen to your own soul. And I would again state to remember that sittings with mediums are experimental sessions. And a medium does realize when a connection is over. So don't try to prolong a reading. The medium realizes when the force or connection is gone and that the spirit contact is closed. Occasionally, a medium and client may decide that another medium may be more suitable. Just be truthful and courteous. And after a session with a medium, you'll have the opportunity to reflect on the conversation. Sometimes a session can stir up emotions or settle them down. Regardless of your situation, be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to honor whatever came forward, be grateful, and let go of what you need to, and grow into the experience. Most of all, let yourself feel peace. And do not obsess or hold on to unhealthy patterns. You have the beautiful opportunity to appreciate the people in your life, the lessons, and the love. And you have the opportunity to live gloriously and joyously as you move forward. Often a reading will uplift and inspire both you and the medium, and often includes philosophy of spiritual natural law, along with contact with loved ones. Mediums and the spirit communicators are not fortune tellers, as I said before, so you are guided with free will that allows you to make choices in your life. And this is a sacred and honored opportunity for you to have evidence of eternal life and inspiration through verbal healing. Be grateful for the guidance that it provides. Always keep in mind that your reading, your consultation, your session is subject to your own interpretation, and that information provided does not constitute legal, psychological, medical, business, or financial advice. Choices and actions based on the content of your reading, your consultation, or session are your responsibility. If you're interested in learning more about the philosophy, religion, and history of spiritualism and the Lily Dale Assembly, and more about mediumship, I encourage you to check out the lilydaleassembly.org website. You could also watch the archive videos of my past shows of Wednesdays with Willa. I have several years of episodes and content available on my Facebook page, Willa White Medium, and also on my YouTube channel. Many blessings to you on your journey with Spirit. Remember that you are supported by the healing, love, and light of the divine.